All right, Evergreen crew, let's talk. We're going to do a quick run through of hand tool safety. This isn't about the stuff you learned on day one. Nope. This is about sharpening those pro habits that stop the little nicks, the bad strains, and the nasty impact injuries that can take a guy off the job. So let's just jump right in.
First things first, I've got a question for you, and I want you to actually think about it for a second. On any given job site, with all the equipment we're using, what is the single most important tool you have?
That's right. It's you. Your hands, your back, your eyes, everything else can be replaced. You can't. So everything we're about to cover, it all boils down to one thing: keeping that number one asset safe and sound. Making sure we all go home in one piece, every single day.
Okay, now safety isn't a one-man show. It's never just on your shoulders or the supervisor's. It is a shared responsibility. It really does take the whole crew looking out for each other.
And this breaks it down perfectly. Supervisors, your role is to teach, to point out the hazards, and to make sure everyone's got the right tool for the job. Now for the crew, your job is to check that gear every time, to really look at the risks of the task, and, this is huge, to report anything that's broken or seems off. It's a two-way street. One side instructs, the other inspects. That's the system that keeps us all safe.
So before you even start work, we've got what I like to call the pre-flight inspection. You know, just like a pilot walks around their plane, you need to do a quick check of your gear. It's gotta be second nature. First up is your personal armor, your basic PPE. That means your eye protection, for sure, and gloves that actually fit right. You know, gloves that are too big or too small can be just as bad as wearing no gloves at all. This is your first line of defense, so don't skip it. And this right here, this is the mantra. You gotta burn this into your brain. Inspect every tool, every single time you pick it up. Not just in the morning. Is the handle loose? Is the chisel head mushroomed? Is the blade dull? That quick glance can literally save you a trip to the medic.
And if you do find something wrong with the tool, there's no gray area here. You don't just put it back, you don't try to fix it yourself, you pull it out of service and you tag it, right then and there. Remember, a bad tool isn't just a risk to you, it's a landmine waiting for the next person on the crew.
All right, let's get into the mandatory do's. These are your green lights, the things you should be doing without even thinking about it. These are the habits of a real pro.
And it starts before you're even using the tool, right? It's how you move stuff around the site. Lift with your legs, save your back, protect your hands. Simple stuff that prevents those annoying strains and splinters that can nag you all week.
Now this one, there's a good reason for it. It's just simple physics. When you pull a wrench towards you, your body is braced. If that bolt suddenly snaps free, you just absorb the motion. But if you're pushing away from your body and it slips, you're going flying right into a pile of steel or off a ledge. So always, always pull. This one sounds like a no-brainer, right? But it's so easy to lose focus for just a split second. When you're swinging a hammer, you've got to have your eyes on the target, but you also have to know exactly where your other hand is. Always keep that guide hand way out of the danger zone. And look, good housekeeping is just good safety. It's that simple. A clean site means no one's tripping over your stuff. When you're finished with a tool, put it away. Don't be the guy who leaves a pry bar on the floor for someone else to find with their ankle. Okay, so we've done the green lights. Now for the other side, the prohibited don'ts. These are the red flags, the hard stops. There are absolutely no exceptions for any of these. Ever.
So, a dull tool is a dangerous tool. Why? Because you have to use way more force, and more force means less control. Now, if you're aiming that uncontrolled force towards your own body, well, you know how that story ends. Badly. Always point the tool away from you. Come on, we've all seen someone do this, or maybe been tempted to. Trying to get that little extra leverage on a pry bar by standing on it or yanking on it, that is just asking for a nasty fall or a torn muscle when that thing slips. If you need more power, get a bigger bar. Simple as that. You know, I know we already talked about this in the do's, but it is so critical, it's also a don't. Seriously, leaving tools all over the place is probably one of the top ways guys get hurt for no good reason. A tool on the ground is a trip hazard. End of story.
Okay, hold on. This next one is incredibly important, so let's just pause here. I have a question for you. What do you think actually happens when you hit one hardened steel hammer with another one? This is what happens. That hardened steel isn't made to take an impact like that. It doesn't dent, it shatters, it explodes.
and it sends tiny, razor-sharp shards of metal flying in every direction like shrapnel. This is how people lose an eye. So let me say it again. Never, ever strike one hammer with another.
So let's wrap this up. What's the bottom line in all of this? What's the main takeaway? Well, it really all comes down to one simple idea. This is all you need to remember. Inspect the tool, know the rule, protect the crew. If you do the first two things every single time, the third one happens automatically. You're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting everybody on the job. So I'm going to leave you with one last question to take with you. Based on what we just went over, what is one thing, one tool, one habit that you're going to double check today? Get it in your head right now and then go do it. All right. Let's have a good day. Stay safe out there.